A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, there was a little-known planet called Earth. And on this planet called Earth was a country, a land called Canada. And on this land of Canada was a YouTuber named Griever, who's bringing to you to, oh my god, guys, Star Wars, Episode 9 teaser trailer, Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. It dropped. I'm freaking out because, little known fact, I love Star Wars. Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, two best things ever created. Fight me. These are two of the greatest. Like, if Lord of the Rings doesn't do it for you with the fantasies and the magic and the swords, then Star Wars should. And if you don't like either one, then what are you doing with your life? Nonetheless, this trailer, it came out. It's only a teaser trailer. It's only about 2 minutes long. But there is so much. There's enough to unpack to make me this hype. Now, guys, I know that usually this channel, for the most part, I try to stick my best to manga and anime. That's what my channel's about. I would like to branch out later, but with a busy schedule and such, I just don't have the time to concretely stick to comics or stick to movies, or even my gaming on the side is so fluctuating all the time. I go months at a time without any gaming content. So I try to stay away from the movie scene, though I would love to talk about the movies. But this is too big. This is too... I'm just so happy right now. I'm so happy because this trailer gives me hope. A new hope, pun intended. This is what it should be. The Last Jedi had key moments which made it bearable. And, I mean, you can fault certain things about it, but I still enjoy Last Jedi as a movie in the same way that I still enjoy Attack on the Clones. I see all the faults, but I still enjoy it because it's Star Wars. There are still things to love about Episode 2, Episode 1, and there are things to love about The Last Jedi. But this gives me a brand new, J.J. Abrams is now back, and he's molding it the way it should be. This feels like the way it should be. So let's just go into the trailer, because this is just a quick trailer reaction stuff. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. I'm not going to go frame by frame. I'm just going to talk about key moments that I want to talk about. First thing is, right off the bat, we get the breathing scene. That's a classic thing with Star Wars now, it seems, is that they open it with a big, heavy breathing scene. And, of course, it's Rey and stuff. She turns on her lightsaber. She's on a desert planet. I hope they return to Tatooine, or at least Jakku. Don't introduce a third desert planet for the love of God. Come on, you already have established, you have a good dozen plus planets established that fans will love right away. Once they see the name, they'll be like, yes. So you don't need to introduce a new planet. Make it Tatooine, make it Jakku, and we'll see what happens. It's most likely Jakku rather than Tatooine, but you never know. And then we see a TIE Fighter Interceptor, or the new stage. Remember that the TIE Fighters have evolved over 30 years, and same with the technology. And this seems to be the Interceptor version, the TIE/IN, I think it's called, as a TIE Interceptor rather than a TIE Fighter. It's got the wings on the sides and such. So people are thinking this is a brand new model sort of idea. We've never seen one of those. It's I literally have a toy of it. I have a die-cast toy from when I was a child of this TIE Fighter in the traditional looking TIE Fighter from the original trilogy. So it's not a new design, guys. It's just the updated version of an old design. But it still looks cool. Now here first, once again, I have a problem with Rey's being so powerful, I guess. I'm a little weary about that and such. So I was really hoping that this wasn't going to take some of that Force Unleashed stuff, and she was going to tear down the TIE Fighter with the Force and stuff. It's no, please don't showcase she's doing that right off the bat. So, but this backflip thing, she doesn't do that. This backflip thing, she turns on the lightsaber, she runs, and then she's doing a flip, so she's probably going to jump on top of it and stab through it or something. I'm good with that. That's cool. That's within the realm of what I think she can do. Remembering that always, Star Wars movies always had this gap in between, anywhere from 6 months to 2-3 year gap in between each movie. That's why all of a sudden Luke, at the end of Empire Strikes Back, and in Return of the Jedi, he's 4 times more powerful than he ever was, and he can actually go toe-to-toe with Vader, and he can use Force Choke, and he's just much more calm and collected. He's more of a Jedi now. Before, he was more like it's the same with Episode 2 between Episode 3, Anakin. Same idea. Much more powerful, though hot-headedness still there. Nonetheless, this is good. It showcases that she has gotten more strength, more power, all that stuff. Okay, so the other scenes that I want to talk about. We get some action scenes. Once again, teaser trailer, hard to make some stuff out. It seems that Chewie's back, the Falcon's back, and, there's something I'm missing. Oh, yeah, Billy D. Williams, Lando Calrissian. Now, I have had a bit of an issue with them killing off all the old guard. I've had a bit of an issue with that. Unless the theory about Han actually, and once again, spoilers here, I'm assuming you guys already know, but Han Solo actually activating Kylo Ren's lightsaber himself, stabbing him to save his son from himself, not make him a murderer in the strictest sense. In that way, he's already killed people, we know, but this type of thing, making sure that there's always going to be a light inside him that never falls, which is ironic because wasn't Snoke's whole thing, which, where did that go? Thanks, Rian Johnson. His whole thing was gray Jedi are more powerful. Having the power of dark and light makes you more powerful than being in the extreme of either. That's a great concept, makes sense, wasn't really fleshed out. This would ensure that was the case, and I'm hoping that's the case, because that would make Han Solo's death make a lot more sense. Now, of course, this was supposed to be Carrie Fisher's movie, whereas Force Awakens was Harrison Ford, and Last Jedi was Mark Hamill, though I think this kind of got screwed up because of the change of director and the staff like Rian Johnson taking over and The Last Jedi going in a totally different direction than what J.J. Abrams had started and what his plan overall was. And there's numerous interviews and stuff about that and how this has totally changed, and he tried to do something, it didn't work. And of course this one's supposed to be Carrie Fisher. Now, thankfully, this is still the Carrie Fisher's family, and of course hearts out to them as always and stuff, allowed all the footage to be used. They're saying, yep, no problem, because Carrie Fisher still did a lot of filming for Episode 9, and they said, yep, it's okay, you can use the footage and stuff, it's what she would have wanted. So we're still going to see Leia Organa, the general, in this movie, which we even see her in this trailer, crying and hugging Rey, it seems. So this is still going to be a very impactful film, especially since it's clearly it's going to be dedicated to the memory of Carrie Fisher right there. It's going to be dedicated to her. This was supposed to be her big movie, whereas once again Harrison Ford's was Force Awakens, Mark Hamill's was The Last Jedi. But that's another thing I want to talk about, is that within all these scenes we also see we hear Mark Hamill delivering brand new lines. He's talking about generations, 1,000 years of knowledge and generations is now accumulated to you. And a lot of people seem to be taking this, when I quickly went through the comment section and stuff before doing this video, I found that a lot of people were saying, oh, does that mean she's so powerful, she's so strong, she has the power of 1,000 years worth of Jedi? I'm like, that's not what Luke was saying. That's not what Skywalker was saying. Mark Hamill, he was simply stating that the accumulated knowledge from 1,000 years of Jedi, from Yoda to from all the way back, all the way to when the Great Jedi Purge happened in Episode 3, all their knowledge, anything that was salvaged from that, all the way down to Yoda and Obi-Wan, down to Luke, and now down, and through his Academy of Students, which were they all really slaughtered? Really? That'd be really cool if a couple survived or something. But at the end of the day, as Luke says, all that knowledge and all our past and all our present, it wasn't about power, it was about the knowledge, and all the sacrifice and everything has now been told, and she understands it, and she can maybe grasp something, because clearly, as Luke brings up in The Last Jedi, the hubris of the Jedi is what allowed it to fall in the first place. So there's a life lesson there and stuff, and hopefully this will not happen again, sort of idea. And the Jedi will go back to being what they were, protectors, but not a governing force, not a military force, not even a militia force, simply protectors. They wander from planet to planet, doing good where they see fit, but they're not going to be an overall seer anymore, because look at what happened. So that's what I took away from it, from all of Luke Skywalker's words throughout this teaser trailer, and that's really cool. This, once again, enlists that Mark Hamill is coming back, most likely as a Force ghost, because I don't think they're going to retcon, no matter how bad The Last Jedi's portrayal was of certain aspects, some of the badass moments was Luke Skywalker, and I don't think they'll ever actually retcon his death. However, you never know, because something is said here. Like, we're all assuming Force Ghost, but the other big thing to take away from this trailer is they go, and a bit of a retcon, because we saw both Death Stars get blown into a million pieces, but clearly here we see the main cast. We see Poe, we see Rey, we see C-3PO, we see everybody. We see Chewie, I think Lando there. We see everybody there, and they're looking off the shoreline of where clearly a Death Star piece is. A big piece, you know? So a bit of a retcon from it being shattered into tiny little glass particles. But it's clearly the dome of the Death Star. Now, right after this, there's a sound. A noise I haven't heard since my childhood. I mean, yeah, I've rewatched the movie and stuff, but let me have this, guys. Let me have this, because this is a noise. It's the laugh of the Emperor. The laugh of Ian McDiarmid, who even stated, no matter how old he gets, until he dies, he will not sanction or approve of anybody playing the role other than himself for Emperor goddamn Palpatine. And that laugh, and Luke's words, they go to see the Death Star. And clearly this is supposed to be the one on Endor. Now, why it's on a coastline and stuff, maybe it's on one of the moons. Like, it might be actually on Endor. Remember that this is on the far side, one of the moons of Endor is where they were and such, where the Ewoks and everything. So this could be another moon, it could be the actual planet. We don't know. I mean, you know, went like this. It got completely kaboom, right? So there... Right here is where Luke Skywalker says, you know, they never, you know, people, generation, they never really die. And that's when we hear the laugh. So I'm sitting there going, holy mother of... So is the Emperor going to be back? Is Ian going to come back and reprise his role? Is it going to be a Force Ghost battle? Because even if they say, okay, you know, Luke did really die, we're not going to retcon that. And of course the Emperor's really dead, we're not going to retcon that, you know, and all that stuff. What if they still make a battle out of it? Luke Skywalker versus the Emperor. They never really had their battle. Remember, Anakin fulfilled the prophecy. The Chosen One finally picked up, destroyed the Sith. You know, he let himself die, and he killed the Emperor. The Sith were destroyed. He finally fulfilled the prophecy. Couple of little gray areas about how he went about it, but he still did it. That was the end of the Sith. Luke never, once again, Anakin was still the Chosen One. It was never up to the children. It's just the children brought him back into fulfilling his destiny. So this begs the question of, are we going to see a Force Ghost battle? That would be so, I mean, I know we're going into the realms of a bit of fan fiction territory, but I don't give a shit. I've been watching this series since before I could talk proper English, and I'm still so invested in Star Wars. I hate that Disney took away all the expanded universe, and then dubbed it Legends for some damn reason. But the fact of the matter is that this opens the door to so much stuff. Is he going to come back? I mean, yes, we see Kylo doing his stuff, but I don't really care. You know, is he marking the mask like a Mandalorian for how many kills he's got, or is he just reforging the mask so he can put it back on his face and be the Sith that he's unredeemable or something? I don't know, but I love what they're doing here. I love everything that they seem to be doing here, if they do it right. For example, why are they going to the Death Star? And if Luke is a Force ghost, and he's guiding like Obi-Wan and Yoda guided Luke after they died, if Luke's going to guide Rey, maybe he's the reason he led her to the Death Star. And a Cave of Dagobah sort of idea? Like, I know we already had that in the second one, similar, like the parallel of Empire Strikes Back. But Rey's experience was kind of weird. Like, I didn't really learn much. There wasn't really that aspect of it. Is this some type of, the Death Star thing, is this some type of Cave of Dagobah thing where it's a force of the dark side created by the Emperor? The Emperor might be dead, but remember how powerful the Emperor was, and probably still is at this case. Palpatine is still supremely strong, and any wound left in the Force, any power that he had residing, might still be in the ruins of the Death Star. That won't just go away. The Force is going to congeal. That's why there are places like the Cave on Dagobah, like on the place, I forget what the island planet was called, whatever, where Luke was, but places like that hold a power of the dark side. is it potential that they are created because of traumatic events like this, like big murders and stuff, sort of a grudge thing? And though those movies scare the living life out of me, where something completely like beyond human scope happens, that's what creates a curse, a power that is beyond human compensation. So it would make entire sense that they would go to the Death Star for some reason, for a test, for the ultimate battle or something. These ruins would still hold a very strong power of the dark side of the Force created by the lasting death of the Emperor. That would be really cool, and maybe that's why they go there. The Emperor might not actually return necessarily, but could still be there as a presence, as a force that, that maybe Snoke, this is where Snoke came from. This is where everything happened, is that this place, the dark side of the Force must be not necessarily eradicated, but this place must be cleansed or something. There's just so much potential for what's going on here. And Mark Hamill has to come back as a Force Ghost no matter what, at the very minimal. If no Force Ghost battle, if no retcon of what The Last Jedi did to him, and he actually just comes back and he's like, Obi-Wan pulled it off fighting Darth Vader as an old man. Yoda was 900 when he died. I can do it. I'm Luke Skywalker, and he just comes back. That I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with them retconning that for some reason. They're clearly leading in to something here, saying, the generations of people never truly die, and then we get the laugh and we see the Death Star and stuff. So there's so much to unpack here. Not a huge fan of the blue font thing. I didn't like the whole red font thing for The Last Jedi. I don't like this change. Keep it yellow. It's been yellow for 6 movies. Or 7 movies if you count, Force, and then Rogue One, and then there's a lot of movies now. It's always yellow. I don't get why they're doing this, yellow, red, blue, like the primary color palette. Why they're doing that, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the blue. It doesn't contrast like the yellow did, so that's just a gripe. And also the rise of Skywalker and stuff. Like that brings me hope that Luke's coming back, or he's clearly going to be a part of this movie, or we will see the true child of Luke, who's might be still Rey, might not be, whatever. Once again, so many things from The Last Jedi are basically just going to be like, toss, done. I don't care what the last movie said. You, as fans, you'll enjoy this one if you forget what the problems of The Last Jedi. If you forget the mistakes that were made, just enjoy this film the way it was supposed to be, assuming that J.J. Abrams made Episode 8. It would be totally different. So I'm hoping that J.J. Abrams is just like, all right, there's some things I can't change, but I'm stretching that to the limit. We are walking out on that ice until it's so thin that not even a pebble could drop. That's the level I want him to cross, because there's so many issues with The Last Jedi. I'm hype. I'm so hype. What did you guys think of the trailer? Did you go see the trailer? Let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comment section down below. I really want to hear what you guys think of this. What does the Emperor's Laugh mean? Is that the ruins of the Death Star? Will Mark Hamill be a Force ghost, or will they retcon Luke Skywalker's death and bring Luke back? And Lando's back. Billy D. Williams is back as Lando. There's so much greatness here. I'm hype. Hope you guys are too. Once again, like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Griever with a trailer reaction for Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. So we'll see you next time, guys. As always, drink responsibly. Yes, I'm drinking this early in the afternoon. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.